What is going on, guys? It's your boy Big Dylan and welcome back to another Destiny 2 video. Today we're going to be going over how you can farm all the different materials in the game, get large quantities of them and prepare yourself for the DLC. Last video I went over things that you're going to want to start collecting. I'll quickly show you my vault just as an example. I'm already prepping for the DLC that's coming out in September called Shadowkeep, and yeah, I'm just trying to help people hopefully get some more materials, especially with the tribute haul event as well. Yeah, a lot of people are struggling for materials at the moment. This is everything that I have saved so far. As you can see, I'm saving 3 stacks of each planetary material. I still need to get myself some dustlight shards, but for the most part I'm hoarding everything in here. Gunsmith materials, crucible tokens, vanguard tokens, all that sort of good stuff. Stuff like mod components, masterwork cores, it's all going in my vault. I'm not spending any of it. I'm saving it all for September. Anyway, with that being said, let's go over ways that you can actually earn these materials. So at the moment there is a way that a lot of people know about, and it's AFK farming using the Black Armory forges. Now, I've only done this once myself. I've just been away for a week, so I started it at about 10 PM last night before I went to bed, and then I ended it, I think it was about 6 AM the next morning, and I managed to get 680 dustlight shards just for literally doing nothing, whilst I was sleeping. So I'm going to show you quickly how you do it. A lot of you guys may have already know how to get it anyway. I'll have to claim my postmaster out later. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll quickly show you how you can AFK farm. So the first thing I'm going to do is go over to Hawthorne. Now, I am pretty late on this AFK farming thing as well. You probably already know what it is. But just for the people that don't know what it is, I'm just going to quickly show you, because it's insane the amount of materials you can get just for doing nothing. If you leave your Xbox or your console, your PC, whatever you're playing on, whatever platform you are on, if you leave it on overnight whilst you're sleeping, you can get yourself a couple hundred materials. If you want to leave it on whilst you're at work even, or you go out for the day, it's up to you if you want to risk it or not, but it's just free materials basically. So what you want to do is go to Hawthorne. You want to buy all of the gear that she is currently selling, and it's going to be low power level gear. You're going to want to equip this gear because it's necessary to do the idle farming. Now, in the forges, a lot of people are... Let me quickly transfer my multi-tool real quick, because it's a low power and I need it. Where is it? There we go. So, my multi-tool, I can't remember what I had for my heavy. I think it was this sword. It's a little bit lower than some of the other stuff I currently have. So I'll put that on. It's the bond. Put, I don't know, those on because it's lower, that on because it's lower. Green. And I think you have to be below about 450, I think it was. I can't remember off the top of my head, but try and get as low as possible. The lower power you can get, the better, but you do have to be below a certain point, and I think off the top of my head it's like 450 or something like that. As soon as you have done that, you want to go to the EDZ or Nessus. Whichever forge you want to go to, feel free to go to it. So if you want Dusklight Shards, go to EDZ. If you want the Data Lattice from the Nessus, go to one of the Nessus forges. It's completely up to you. But for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to go to the Volunda Forge, because I do need Dusklight Shards anyway. And yeah, so this is the first thing I'm going to go over. Now, the idle farming is really good, because you can get the materials, you can go turn them into whatever vendor it may be. Whether it's Devrim K and the EDZ, for example, I can go turn all of those Dustlight Shards into him. I get Legendary Shards, I get Masterwork Cores if I delete a Masterwork Cord weapon. It's just really good overall just for getting materials, basically. That's all I can really narrow it down to. You can also get Gunsmith materials. Obviously, every legendary thing you delete that you get from him as a reward every time you level him up. You get Gunsmith materials as well, so that's a way you can get legendary shards, masterwork cores. Now, masterwork cores, obviously they're not common, but every now and then you will get a masterworked weapon and you can delete it and get a couple of cores, so it is pretty decent. Gunsmith materials as well, like I said, you get that from just deleting gear anyway, whatever gear it may be. It can be like green, blue, purple, exotic, you get gunsmith materials. So however long it will take us to fly down, I do not know. Now, whilst we're flying down, I'll just go over a couple of other ways you can get a couple of common resources. So Glimmer, again, you can get Glimmer doing anything within the game. Now, it does take a while to build it up, but a couple of other ways you can actually get easy Glimmer is using the Rainmaker consumables, where if you get a precision kill in close quarters, it has a chance to release a Glimmer shower. That's the description of the consumable. So you can just pop those, last for 4 hours, that might get you an extra little bit of Glimmer also. Next, you can also buy Glimmer from the spider within the Tangled Shore. Again, he does offer them at times for legendary shards, or it may be materials. It just depends on whatever the reset may be as to what he offers it for. But that's basic ways on how you can earn yourself Glimmer. But like I said, you can get it just for playing the game, doing whatever you want, going strikes. I mean, you can get maybe a couple thousand Glimmer per strike, so it's not really that hard to come by as some of the other resources within the game. Anyway, now that that's Glimmer gone over, let's go back over this idle farming. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and get to the forge without getting shredded to pieces. And what we're going to do is we're going to start it up. Ignite the forge. Now what's going to happen is there's thousands of people doing this AFK farming, so more than likely you're going to get matched up with 2 other people that are doing it, and it's just going to be you and 2 other people stood still. You don't have to do anything. You can put your controller down, you can leave, walk away from your keyboard and mouse. You don't have to do anything. So right now I'm just going to place my controller on the table, and I'm just going to let it sort of roll out and show you guys what happens. And yeah, I mean, there's nothing really too much else to it other than that you can just walk away from your screen. So as you can see, it went to 3 out of 3, so we have found a fire team. I'll quickly show you that. If I go to the roster, as you can see, 2 other people in here as well. Now if you look at the power level on these people, one's 367 and one is 186. So again, these are low light level people, or low power level, whatever you want to call it. And these are doing AFK farming as well. As you can see, they've got blue gear equipped, they've just got 10 defense armor on, so it's pretty obvious that they are actually doing the AFK farming. And yeah, I mean, it's crazy the amount of people that are doing this. I didn't really think it would work, but when I got back again from being away for a week, I gave it a go last night whilst I was in bed, and I woke up to 680 dustlight shards, so it can't actually be that bad. So one thing I will say is every now and then is, if you are obviously on console or something like that, at times make sure your console and stuff can get a lot of air to it, and it has it's well ventilated in the room, because it might overheat, it might get really warm, all that sort of stuff. So do just be careful. But as you can see, I'm going to spawn in. I'm not going to touch my controller, I'm just going to let it roll out. I'm going to show you an example of what it looks like. So the forge will start, and then all 3 of you will just end up getting killed because all the enemies will try and kill you. So it roughly takes about a minute until the forge timer ends. And all we've got to do now is just wait for the timer to go down. When the forge, once we basically fail the forge, a couple of materials will pop out at the end, and they will go to your postmaster. And then it'll take you all to orbit, it'll put you back down, rinse and repeat basically. You don't have to do anything, it'll just keep putting you in, and yeah, I mean, there's just nothing else to it. Cabal is kneeling. So that one is now coming to an end. So if we look at the forge, and you will see a couple of green triangles basically split out of it, and some glimmer. Unfortunately, you don't get the glimmer. Now what you could do is quickly spawn in and pick the glimmer up if you want to do it whilst you're just sat here, but me personally, I'm not really too fussed about the glimmer. But the green triangles are actually the dustlight shards. Now when it ends and it sends us back to orbit, those dustlight shards will go back to your postmaster. Now again, if you're on Nessus and doing one of the Nessus forges, it'll be data lattice, obviously, because that is the planetary material for that planet. But yeah, I mean, that's basically it. It'll find another couple of people, it'll spawn you back in, and it's just rinsing and repeating. Now, you don't have to worry about anyone completing the forge for you or any of that sort of stuff, simply because everyone that's at this power level is just farming anyway. And yeah, so that's out the way. I don't need to show you that anymore. So let's go over a couple of ways that you can get some other materials within the game. So the next one I'm going to go over is legendary shards. Now, legendary shards you can get for deleting legendary gear and exotic gear. Some easy ways also to farm the shards is to turn in tokens and materials at the planetary vendors. So for example, if I was just doing the AFK farming, I had, I don't know, so let's say 500 dustlight shards. I could go to the EDZ, turn them into Devrim. Obviously, every time I level him up, he has a chance of giving me legendary shards anyway. And then also, every time I level him up, I'll get a legendary piece of gear. I can delete that piece of gear, and it'll give me legendary shards in return, because it is a legendary item. So yeah, I mean, you can do that with any tokens and any planetary materials. So you could even go to the spider. You could buy all of the materials from him in bulk with your legendary shards, if you have as many as I do. Bear in mind, I spent probably about 9 or 10,000 legendary shards, and I still have 17,000. So, you know, if you have that many, you can just go to the spider and buy them in large quantities, go and turn them in, and it's an easy way to sort of, you know, get stuff back as well. Now, masterwork cores, you can get these from deleting masterwork gear. So again, if you fully masterworked a weapon that you don't want to keep for when Shadowkeep launches, feel free to delete it if you are not going to be using it anymore, and that will give you masterwork cores in return. Now, you can also get them from doing gunsmith bounties. Now, you can go to the gunsmith in the tower. He has 2 weekly bounties and he has 3 daily. If you do the 3 dailies every single day on every single character, that's a lot of masterwork cores. Next thing is also, if you are in a clan and you get the 5,000 clan XP, you can actually get 7 masterwork cores for actually completing that. So you go to Hawthorne, she gives you a powerful reward package, you'll get a legendary item of powerful, obviously, gear, and then she will also give you 7 masterwork cores, which is pretty decent. If you want to know what the gunsmith bounties are like, this is what one of them is. This is one of the weekly bounties. It gives you a random mod, and it also gives you one enhancement core and random materials. The daily ones, again, give you mod components and enhancement cores as well, or masterwork cores, whatever. I call them masterwork cores just because that's what they used to be called, enhancement cores, if you're wondering what I'm talking about. The next one I want to go over is mod components. Now, mod components, again, you can get these from doing gunsmith bounties. Now, you can only get them from doing the 3 daily bounties. You get 2 mod components for every single daily bounty you do. So again, if you was to do all 3 on one character, that is 6 mod components. Do it on, again, 3 characters, you got a lot of mod components if you do that across, you know, an entire week or a month. You can also buy the mod components from Ada, I think she's called, which is the Black Armory vendor within the tower. I'll quickly show you where she's located if you're wondering which one I'm talking about. But it's the one that you buy your weapon frames from to do your forges, right over here. So you can basically go to her and she will actually have, I can't remember what it costs. I think it's legendary shards and gunsmith materials. If I remember off the top of my head, you can actually buy mod components, which is pretty decent. Now, the next one I want to go over is Vanguard tokens. Now, Vanguard tokens you can farm in large quantities very easily. So, for example, if I'm a solo player, I'm going to go into normal strikes, okay? Now, in the strike, at the chest at the end, you get a fair few tokens. I think it's about 5 to 7 tokens you can get out of the chest. Now, if you'd have a emblem, if I go onto the right tab, there is actually emblems for every single strike within the game. Now, what you can do is equip one of these emblems, and it also gives you bonus tokens at the end of the strike. So as you can see on the screen right now, stuff like this, you got Exodus Crash, you got one for Savathun's Song, all that sort of stuff. Now, if you look at the description, it says increased Vanguard token drops for you and your fire team in the strike. So, for example, if I was going to do the Savathun's Song strike, I'd put the Savathun's Song emblem on and I get more tokens at the end of that strike. Pretty simple. Now another thing you can do is pop Vanguard boons. Now these cost legendary shards and you can buy them from Zavala. So what we're going to do is I'll quickly show you what they look like. This is the Vanguard boon, so what you can do is pop one of these and it has a chance of giving you a gift at the end of the strike. Now that will either be a pack of Vanguard tokens, or it may be a legendary item, or even an exotic. It completely depends on what the game wants to give you, but 9 times out of 10 they are usually a pack of Vanguard tokens. So if you have another 2 friends to play with, you could all 3 of you go into a strike, all with your correct emblem on, all pop a boon of the Vanguard, and I'd say you could probably get over 20 tokens per strike, which is a one level up with Zavala. So I mean it's pretty decent. Now that is also what you can do for Crucible tokens. Now unfortunately Crucible does not have any any emblems that you can get more tokens for finishing a match, unfortunately, but you can still buy boons of the Crucible to give you even more. Now one thing I will say as well is you can actually get ghost shells. Now this is one thing I do want to go over. So I don't think I actually have one on me at the moment. I don't know if I have any of them left because I deleted them for the Bright Dust. And mainly just because I have loads of materials anyway. I'll quickly try and see what this one looks like, just as a rough example. So this, for example, is my Dreaming City Ghost Shell. As you can see, it's got Dreaming City Scanner on it, which gives me more additional resources when I'm collecting them within the Dreaming City. Now you can get one of these for every single activity within the game. You can get them for Gambit, where they give you bonus experience. You can get them for Crucible, where they give you more tokens. Same for strikes. If you have a strike ghost, you get more tokens at the end as well. You can get them for every single planet as well. So you can get, instead of the Dreaming City scanner, it'll be called EDZ scanner, Nessus scanner, all that sort of stuff. So that is how you can also get more resources if you have some ghost shells lying around that you may not currently know that they can benefit you. Now again, we've already gone over gunsmith materials. You get them just by deleting gear, so they're pretty easy to come by. And yeah, I mean the planetary materials, other than the EDZ and Nessus, they're not farmable in large quantities, and it's not very easy to get. You can't actually AFK farm on any of the other planets, unfortunately. So what you do have to do is just basically run around in circles, collecting them if you need them, or you can go to the Spider and buy them for legendary shards when he is selling them for legendary shards. At times you will have to buy them with Glimmer and all that sort of stuff, so it completely depends. Just keep checking at the Spider within the Tangled Shore, and hopefully he ends up selling some of them that you need for legendary shards. Another thing I want to go over is with the AFK farming is, don't be afraid to do it. A lot of people are scared that they might get banned, or Bungie might, terminate their account or whatever. Bungie aren't like that, basically. If you find an exploit within the game, they don't believe in punishing the players, and I wouldn't really call this a game-breaking exploit. People are just struggling for materials, and yeah, I mean, I'm going to start doing it as well. Even though I actually have more than enough materials, I feel like if I don't do it, I'm sort of missing out on extra free stuff, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I mean, that's basically how you farm each and every single material within the game. So we've gone over Glimmer, legendary shards, masterwork, or should I say enhancement cores. We've gone over mod components, Vanguard and Crucible tokens, gunsmith materials, and planetary materials also. One thing I will say with the planetary materials, at the vendor, every single day there's 3 daily bounties. If you complete them, you will get 10 materials for every single bounty. So for example, the planet this week is Mercury, so if I go to Mercury, I can go to Brother Vance. He has 3 bounties. I can pick them up, complete all 3 of them, and then I get 30 of the simulation seeds, obviously because it's 10 per bounty. So I mean, if you do that every single day for every single planet, I mean 30 materials, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it soon builds up. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all there is to it. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this helps you get a couple more materials within Destiny 2 and prepare yourself for Shadowkeep. Have a nice rest of your day, guys. Peace.